Here's what I know to be true. There is absolutely no shortcut to your healing and to your wholeness. I had a powerful lesson in this truth on yesterday. Some of you guys know my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's an athlete, she's a basketball player, just finished her freshman year of college, but she also tore her ACL. So it wasn't the year that she planned for. And she tore her ACL probably about the week before Thanksgiving. And so here we are, we're just a few weeks away from her getting ready to return back to school. And we are still rehabbing that knee. We've had a number of delays. The surgeon even had to go back in June, about 6 weeks ago, went back in because there had been so much scar tissue that it was painful for her to do her PT exercises and to get the mobility back. So the surgeon said, let me just go in. The actual main surgery is fine. The ACL is intact, but it's the scar tissue around it that is causing the issue, is causing a problem. And so the doctor did that surgery. And one of the things he did was take a picture while she was under anesthesia of what that knee could actually do. And the goal after removing that scar tissue is for her to do the exercises herself so that she can begin to have that kind of mobility on her own without the anesthesia. But as you know, healing isn't always a pleasant experience. Healing can be painful, and healing also takes time. So we were at the doctor on yesterday, and the knee still is a little bit stiff. She's able to bend it. She's able to do certain things, but he noticed she's also become very dependent on her brace. And part of why she's dependent on the brace is because she doesn't really trust her leg. She feels like she's lost so much muscle in that leg, she doesn't feel as stable. She also hasn't been as consistent as she needs to be with her physical therapy exercises, not just at physical therapy, but at home. Why? Because her threshold for pain is low. And so she doesn't want to necessarily stretch it out. And so she and I, we've been having this discussion back and forth because she's tired of the brace. She's tired of feeling inconvenienced by this injury, but yet she wants to avoid what is required for her to be healed and whole. And I begin to think about all of us who have experienced injury. And God may have kind of gone in, you may have gone to therapy, there may have been some repair, but you still got the scar tissue. And part of what's required for you to get your mobility back, for you to get the fullness of your life back, is you're going to have to do some practices. You're going to have to do some exercises. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to be consistent. And when you do that, it may not feel so good. But a lot of times, especially when it comes to our emotional work, we are looking for a bypass. We are looking for ways that we can shield ourselves from the pain. We're looking, whether it's more work, busyness, taking care of other people. It's not always those vices, those obvious things of a little extra glasses of wine, or let me get some gummies, or whatever it is your thing is for you to avoid yourself. We all do it. And maybe, just like my daughter, you've become dependent on a crutch. And I love what her doctor said to her yesterday. He said, I gotta get you in here, and we're gonna have to be more aggressive with kind of you stretching out, with you doing these exercises, because the crutch is really in the way of your healing. That's what he told her. He said, the crutch is really in the way of your healing. And here's what he said: you just need to trust yourself more. He said, you need to trust your leg. You need to trust that it's going to hold you up. And for many of us, we are in the same place. You've been through so much. You've gone through so much that although you've been doing the work, you still don't trust yourself. You still don't trust yourself to make good decisions. You still don't trust yourself to discern, do I go left and do I go right? You still don't trust your own thoughts because you feel like your thoughts betrayed you the last time. And so, but there's no way around it other than to do the work. There's no way around it other than to do the practice. There's no way around it other than to do the last thing that he told her is you got to show up. After that appointment on yesterday, he said, I'm going to shift you and I'm going to move you to our physical therapist, which she had been to before, but we kind of, the hospital that she had surgery 30 to 40 minutes away. And so he was like, since you're going to be doing physical therapy so often, why don't we connect you to something closer to your home so that you don't have the commute? But the therapy that she was getting further away wasn't effective. This time he said, I want you to see my specialist. He said, I want you to see my person who specializes in ACL physical therapy. I don't need you to just have a regular physical therapist. I need you to get with somebody that I know is going to push you where you need to be pushed. And he threw my daughter for a loop because he said, and my 3 o'clock just canceled. It was like 2:50 in the afternoon. My 3 o'clock just canceled. Are you ready to go right now? And she said, right now? I can't do right now because she had a party she was trying to go to at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, some pool party. And I looked at her and she's looking at me. And I said, because he said, well, if you got plans, let's see if, we'll find another time. And the time he suggested was 7 o'clock in the morning. I said, oh no, ma'am. She gonna take the one at 3 o'clock. She gonna take the one in 10 minutes. We ready right now. And she was like, but mom, I have things to do. I have to get ready for the party. Priorities matter. Again, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you want to be healed. You can't say you want to be whole, but every time it's time for you to step into a process, you got something else you want to do. Every single time. And I knew that there would be no difference between 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 o'clock in the morning. The only difference is it would now be an inconvenience to me. Because I told you, it's already 40 minutes away from where we live. So now I got to get up at 6 in the morning. And well, we got to be out the house because now I got to deal with traffic. And now I got to deal with a grumpy 19-year-old. And I'm not a morning person either. So I am not going to inconvenience myself for your healing. Either you want it or you don't. Come on now, I just said something to you. Either you want it or you don't. And many of you, let me speak on two levels, because many of you are distorting and, contorting and twisting yourself into a pretzel to accommodate somebody's healing who ain't going to do what they going to do anyway. And so you got to sometimes get to a point in relationships where either you want it or you don't. Either you're going to do it or you're not. Either you're going to show up or you're going to stay home. And so today, as my divine reset, some of you may know about it, starts on Monday, I want to issue that same kind of thing to you. If you know you've been navigating scar tissue around your heart, if you know that you've become dependent on the crutch, you've become dependent on the brace, you depending on all these other things because you haven't learned how to trust your own voice yet, or again, I should say. And if you always got an excuse every time it's time for you to step in, this is your opportunity to show up for you. So my daughter didn't like it. She didn't like it. But this morning, this afternoon, Because, of course, she slept late because she didn't went to this party, right? She came and she said, "Thank you, Mom." And guess what? I was at the party without my brace. That's what she said. So sometimes it don't feel good, but it is good. Sometimes healing requires you to be inconvenienced. It requires you to be uncomfortable. It may require you to do what you don't want to do for you to get the healing, the outcome, the mobility that you say you want to get. So that's my word for you as we get ready to start a weekend. I want you to really think about what is the work, the emotional work, the spiritual work you've been avoiding? What is the thing that you keep putting off? That you've done a little bit of healing, but you still don't have your whole life back. And I'm not talking about going back to the way it was, because there's certain things in life you will never go back to the way it was. Sometimes new situations require new wineskins. It requires a new you. It requires letting go completely of what was old and what was then so that you can embrace right now. So that's my challenge for you. I'm sending you so much love and grace. And if you are ready to do your work, I invite you to message me. You can send me a private message and come on in to the Divine Reset that starts on Monday. Love and grace. Bye.